Okay guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. Today we're going to have a look at the PlayStation Classic and the games that are involved. There are only 20 games on the list, and not all of them are amazing. Some of them are decent, some I've never actually played. It's definitely missing a lot. There's no Wipeout, there's no Crash Bandicoot, there's no Spyro, there's no Gran Turismo. There's very little settings, there's not a lot you can change. Apparently though, you can actually plug in a keyboard to access some of the debug settings, although do so at your peril. You may make it a bit of a brick if you mess it up, but yeah, these are the games. There's some really good ones. Obviously Final Fantasy VII is one of the best RPGs ever made, and it's really good. Grand Theft Auto, the original one, which is quite cool, adding here. You've got Jump and Flash, you've got amazing Metal Gear Solid, the original one, which was brilliant. Frustrating Oddworld, but yeah, it's not the greatest selection, so let's have a first look and see what the actual game quality is like. So you see it's obviously in a sort of letterbox style. The graphics are not bad, but they're very blocky. So it's almost like the original. It's not really been souped up any. It's not get any better graphics than it had at the time. Okay, we're going to have the first play. So it definitely looks like the emulation isn't particularly great. It looks like it's still exactly as it was when we made the original PlayStation. So this is the actual Destruction Derby. I mean, it looks okay, but it's pretty much as it was. It's not been touched any. Emulation is still quite poor. It's still quite fun to play Destruction Derby. But yeah, I think the missed opportunity in not using the actual analog sticks. Instead you have to use the D-pad for driving games, which really doesn't suit. I mean, this is how it was when it originally launched, but it's a missed opportunity not putting the analog sticks in with the games. Rayman, which is actually quite good. It looks quite nice. It's still a bit blocky, but the colours are quite nice and bright. It certainly comes across really well. It's probably one of the better games I've seen so far. It's not too blocky, it's quite nice. Ridge Racer Type 4, which was a good game, yeah, but I think it's, again, we've got really blocky graphics. You can see that the graphics are not bad, but still really blocky. The emulation is quite clear, quite poor. Again, finished third in my first race, which isn't too bad. Graphics are okay, but yeah, still really blocky. Really could have been really souped up. Okay, so this is Puzzle Fighter 2, which it looks quite nice, but definitely one of these games that I've got to think, why is this on here? Can't fathom any reason why you would want to put this on here. Anyway, it is what it is. Okay, it's quite a good fun game, but I mean, it's not an amazing game. It's not one of those games I would have thought of when I think of PlayStation Classics, that's for sure. Okay, so this is Siphon Filter, which was a really good game, very addictive gameplay and great story within it. So definitely worth having on the PlayStation Classic for sure, so let's have a look at it. Okay, so Siphon Filter, you can see that the graphics are still really blocky. The emulation is probably quite poor again. This is quite an addictive game, but wow, it's not amazing, is it? You can see the graphics are quite poor. I think some of the games really haven't aged well at all. They're really quite surprising that connecting to HDMI and what is not souped it up, or they've not made any attempt to make it look any better. So that's definitely a missed opportunity. It's just straight from the original game, the looks of it. One thing that's definitely clear of playing games like Siphon Filter is trying to play these games with a D-pad is an absolute nightmare. And trying to move using this D-pad, oh, why did they not include the analog sticks? It would have made these games so much easier, but I suppose they just weren't designed for that at the time. It wasn't available till sort of later on in the PlayStation life, but Oh wow, it's insane. Okay, so here we have Tekken 3, which was one of the best Tekkens on the PlayStation. But definitely, even at the time, the PAL version was inferior to the NTSC due to speeding and the refresh rate, which obviously wasn't great, but it was still a good game. It still looks quite nice. You see, it's still quite kind of blocky in sort of areas, and it plays quite slow, which you'll see. It's just not quite as fluid, but it's actually okay, it's not bad. Definitely put in the hours in this game, so it's still a really top game to be on the PlayStation. PlayStation Classic, you only have a few options. You've got your power on and off button, you have your open disc button where you want to swap discs in certain games that have multiple discs, and the reset button if you want to reset and start a new game, which also creates a save spot. There only is one save slot per game, which isn't amazing, so yeah, need to play down to those limitations, but that's pretty much it. If you look at the actual settings themselves on the PlayStation Classic, there isn't a lot to choose from. You've got screensavers, language, power saver settings, restore, initialize console, legal notice. There's nothing, you can't change anything particularly about it, so you can't change the style of it, the graphics, nothing. It's pretty poor. You've got guides, I suppose, which is quite handy. You've got all your sort of memory cards and your zoom point for each game, and that's it. It's pretty basic. Nothing fancy at all here. Okay, playing Rainbow Six, it's quite clear that using the D-pad for this is almost impossible. You really need the analog sticks. You can use the shoulder buttons to look up and down, which is a bit strange, but yeah, really crying out for analog sticks this, and it just looks so blocky and blurry. Graphics are not amazing, D-pad's just poor for this. Yeah, not one of the better games to be putting on here, I don't think. This is Wild Arms, which actually looks really nice. It seems to hold up quite well. I think what's quite clear is a lot of the games on the PlayStation Classic just haven't held up well. The emulation is really poor. This one's not too bad. It's really quite colourful, and it seems to stand out quite well. Never had the fortune of playing this when it first came out, but as RPGs it still stands up quite well today. So here we have Battle Arena Toshinden, which was a launch title for the PlayStation, which wasn't bad. It was fairly okay, but it was quite slow and sluggish to play. Let's see how it holds up. Battle Arena Toshinden. Let's see how we go. It's actually not too bad. It's pretty much similar to what it's like. It's still quite blocky, but it's pretty much as I remembered on there at the PlayStation. Cool Borders! Okay, so Cool Borders 2 doesn't look too great. It's quite blocky, a lot of breakups in the graphics here and there. Wasn't one of my favourite games anyway, but this is one of the games I'm not sure exactly why it's on here. Oddworld Apes Odyssey.
Okay.
Which is quite funny, but it was one very frustrating game, that's for sure.
Hello.
So it's all quite amusing, but let's see, it was a very frustrating game. Great game, but very frustrating. This game was really tricky and frustrating. It looks quite blocky. Doesn't really stand up too well. Driller now.
I'm gonna play.
Yeah, I can't really remember playing Mr. Driller. Kate's going to give it a try.
I have played it. Jill has the...
I think I might have played this in a demo before, but I can't remember an awful lot about it. I think you need to get to the bottom, Kate. I'm not really sure why this is on a PlayStation Classic, but here there's another oddity. Graphics look okay, quite colourful.
Flash.
Yeah, this game is quite cool. This was a launch game as well, and I'm sure I played it quite a lot. It was quite good fun. Here we go. So this game, the object of the game was to collect the 3 carrots. You see them sticking up, called jet rows. It stands up not too bad. Still quite blocky though, the graphics. You can fire at them as well, Kate. That's it. But the idea is to collect the 3 carrots and exit the level by pressing the X button to jump. Is that you're some sort of robotic rabbit, I think. It's quite addictive. It's that you can do double, in fact I think you can do triple jumps as well. This actually just stands up pretty well for a PlayStation game, yeah. Yeah, we quite like Jump and Flash. It stands up quite well. It's quite good fun to play. Still quite blocky, but it's good. Okay, we're playing Intelligent Cube, which is quite tricky. Again, this is another game where I'm not sure exactly why it's on here. This is not an amazing game. Not even then. And it looks blocky and it's aged badly. Okay, we're now going to play Metal Gear Solid, which is definitely one of the best games you'll get on the PlayStation. This is definitely worthy of being on the Classic, so let's have a look at it.
I love fighting games. What do we do?
Okay, so you see the graphics are quite blocky. It's not really been emulated very well at all. Still the same game though, but it's okay, kid, you don't play like that. Nice try. Obviously taking off his diving gear to get started into the main game. We've cleared the first level, which is a massive part of the demo. Still quite blocky, but it's still an amazing game, really good. Okay, so here we have the original Grand Theft Auto, which I really enjoyed at the time. It was very addictive gameplay, but the graphics were horrible. So I don't think it's improved any somehow. Let's have a look. Yeah, graphics are terrible, but it's good fun to play. It's still the same Grand Theft Auto style. It was incredibly addictive. I remember playing the demo on the PlayStation magazine, which got me hooked. Yeah, definitely one of the better games on here. Okay, see the graphics, the original graphics are terrible, but the gameplay was terrific. It was good fun. It's quite blocky. See, so it's not really aged too great. Certainly a worthy addition. It was a great game at the time. Once you worked out the controls, I don't think it holds up. The D-pad movement is horrific, but once you got used to it, it became better.
Okay.
Grand.
What do I do?
Follow the arrow. Yeah, graphics are quite blurry on this. It's very good Final Fantasy VII and worthy of being on the PlayStation Classic, but it's not emulated well at all.
Wait, what's to the other one?
I don't know, he's gone. He says just push that button over there. Okay, let's do that. Oh, using the D-pad for this is just awful.
Wow.
Oh, he's just appeared. Graphics are really blocky on here.
Little by little, the red
of life, and that'll be that. Okay guys, so that's the look at the PlayStation Classic. You see, it's a bit hit and miss affair. There's not enough quality games on here. There's given them the back catalogue of the PlayStation, there's a massive missed opportunity of the games that's been selected. and there's no actually any way of adding any more of your games to it as it stands at present. So it's definitely a bit disappointing. Some good games, some of them not emulated very well, quite slow, maybe the PAL versions. But yeah, unfortunately it does look cool. I mean, if you compare the two sitting together, they look nice. It's a very good looking console, but it just 20 games, it's not amazing. Not even 20 great games at that. Another missed opportunity is probably not including the analog stick controller. Instead, we got the standard version, which doesn't work great with some of the games. Another missed opportunity. Well, unfortunately, guys, I can't recommend it. It's probably going to only be a collector's item only. But that is what it is. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Okay, bye. Over.